Welcome back to CasualBiasRugby. We've got Leinster. It's the day after. It's the weekend after. This is not a weekend review. We won't be speaking about New Zealand and England and the Wallabies and Wales. If you want to check that out, that will be probably on Safas Unscripted coming out tomorrow. But obviously this was a massive occasion. We had the world champions versus Ireland, who were in number 2 in the world, but for the longest time was number 1 in the world. It was a massive game, massive hype. Scoreline 27-20 to South Africa.
That's not a fair scoreline, right? That's not fair to show.
Who better to have on than the Leinster boy himself?
Mm-hmm.
What are we saying? How are we feeling the day after?
I'm more annoyed that we lost. I think we should have won that. Yesterday, I was like, fair enough, decent result. We got it close. No, we should have won that. Like, that try shouldn't have been disallowed. Was that really a penalty try? Like, another one was a Colby's try. That was a lucky mistake from James Lowe. I'm not convinced, man. I'm not convinced of Springboks. I think next week we win. They just especially
I'm not surprised that you said next week you win, because we kind of got to the conclusion that if you're more likely to win a test in Durban than you are at Loftus, right? Not in terms of just altitude. Loftus is a fortress, right? It is tough to be traveling and winning at Loftus. But where I disagree with you is that you should have won that game, because we should have been clear after that first 40 minutes. But that's credit to Ireland, because I think it wasn't Ireland's best performance, but they showed true heart and courage to really stay in the game. And I know it was cocky on social media and stuff, but in the end, when you deepen, it was a good game. It was a feisty game. You saw massive hits from both sides. I wouldn't say it was the best game necessarily, because there was a lot of mistakes as well. Both teams just feeding each other's mistakes. How many points did each of us leave on the field with missed kicks and stuff? It was truly ridiculous. But let's go to the start of the game. Orense goes in, scores under the post. What were you thinking after that first 5 minutes when you just got blitzed there at the start?
I mean, I wasn't overly concerned. We did that against Romania, but at the same time, Jamie Osborne missed a tackle, and he's supposed to have the biggest game of his life. And it's kind of then we were thinking, oh, we're gonna get hammered here. But no, we came back from it. We did well in the first half, and the second half kept the game close the whole time.
Yeah, but obviously after that try you scored, you went straight to our side and you were 5 meters away, and then at the end our defense prevailed and you knocked the ball. But I just thought it was overall such a lively start. It really lived up to expectations there at the start. Obviously the big thing that I saw on Twitter, the people are talking about Erge Snyman. I've seen a couple of Irish tweets. What's your opinion on that? Because we literally we nearly saw 2 people die yesterday.
That was bad.
Casey
that
was bad,
really bad,
and we saw Henshaw being absolutely slaughtered.
Henshaw, I'm not having this Henshaw thing, right? But in fairness, Casey, your ex-teammate, right? The scrum half that is small, you WWE slam him into the floor, and then instead of checking on the guy who was knocked out, you go start high-fiving your teammates. And then Loftus goes and puts on a whole concert while he's getting treated.
I mean, what do you want? Just awkward silence, just a distraction.
A bit of respect for the injured guy, Don't start doing a Coldplay concert with
what would you rather have? Would you rather have it as dead silence just in the crowd?
I just don't know.
I get what you're saying, but that's decisions you make, and obviously you don't think, oh, okay, well, a guy is gonna need a lot of treatment. What are we gonna do in that situation? So they just put the music on, get the people to kind of, I don't want to say forget about what's just happened, but to get their minds off it. You don't want to send everyone into panic stations. So I don't know how I would go in that situation, but they had to make a call right then on the spot.
Yeah. But for RG though, what are you at? Why are you doing that?
There was no malicious intent. It was just a hard hit.
He passed the ball, he was low. He slams him. Did you see it? He slams him.
Yeah, but it wasn't a high tackle. It was low. It was literally a normal tackle. Yes, it was a hard hit, but it was just a good tackle. You just picked him up and ran with him.
That was a personal tackle. I don't know what about that. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
what
but
it is between them, but that was personal.
yeah,
Slams
but
him full
always
force.
when you play
Immediately
against
gives him
teammates and
whiplash.
stuff, you go in a bit harder. But there
I
was no
guess,
intent. Listen, I am going to go and put this guy in a stretch or whatever. It was just like a hard hit. You see much worse tackles in terms of guys taking the other guy's head off or literally picking them up, driving them head first into the ground. That was nothing like that. He got injured by whacking his head onto the ground with just like whiplash because it was a good hit. If you get what I mean. Yeah. So anyway, overall, how do you feel after this game now? Because you said
I'm
we
very
should have
happy.
won this game, but I don't think you believe that. Does this feel a bit demoralizing now? Because now you've got no leg to stand on.
No, we had you on strings the whole game, and I think, like I said, we were really unlucky to lose. I'm happy. Caelan was amazing. So many new players came through that really good in that game. I just think, I know it wasn't a win, but look at the players that are new, that got crazy experience. Our pack absolutely bossed you guys. I'm going to say it many, many times.
Where did you boss us? You just stood up.
Turning you over every 3 minutes. That's where we bossed you.
What are you even talking about? It was very competitive. You didn't boss anything in the game. You literally bossed nothing in the game.
What's the breakdown?
Bro, if you want to, when you say you bossed something, you look at that final scrum. That is how you boss something.
The one scrum you guys won convincingly. Yeah, that one.
No, we smashed you at scrum time. But I told you last night when we went live. I told you, listen, I was very impressed with how you matched up physically, like you stood your ground. And fair enough, you did have us defending for our lives at certain points. But when you say that, you also have to give credit to the South African defense for holding out for so long. Like your move there at the end I think it was to score. When was it? After Caelan Doris got held up, the try you scored there, that running line and that set piece move that you guys pulled, that was great. That was a brilliant move. But overall, I think our defense was very good. We considered a couple of soft tries, and the same with you guys. And that's why we said, listen, there was errors, and both teams literally just had to capitalize on the errors. When you look at the
defense in the 22, that was amazing. You just helped us out so much.
Well, that's kind of what we need to do because we are not clinical enough because we bossed that first 30 minutes, I would say, right? And the fact that we were only 5 points in the lead or something, that's not good enough, in my opinion. Like, you play against the All Blacks, and we spoke about this previously. Like, you can boss the game, yet they are in the lead because they are just that clinical. Yeah. So I would love for us to do that because all of a sudden put so much pressure on you because you've got this dominance, but nothing really to show for it. That's just my perspective on it. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I just think both teams had their strong points, and that's why it was more evenly matched. But like you said there with the All Blacks, if they come against Ireland or Springboks right now, they're going to eat that live. Too many gaps, too many mistakes. Like, South Africa might get one or two of the mistakes profit off that. New Zealand are going to profit over every single mistake.
What do you think about both of us having Marnie Lobok in the team in terms of kicking? Leaving 8 points on the field.
I'm sorry, you drop Manny Libok and he comes back in spirit into Andre Pollard. What happened?
Yeah, we spoke about it yesterday.
I've never seen Pollard miss that many kicks.
Yeah, bro, it wasn't even like we saw it and it just scraped past or whatever. It looked like missing from the start. Same for us and Crowley. Like, what the hell? I didn't understand what I was watching. I was like, this is bad.
Crowley's never been convincing kicking. But man, Pollard, I've never seen him miss kicks like that.
Yeah, and
he's meant to be the one guy that you can go, yeah, he's definitely going to get that kick.
I had a discussion with my dad this morning, right? And I was like, well, if Pollard isn't going to be, well, I'm not going to judge him on yesterday because we know what he can do. But if he's going to miss kicks, right, then it's better to play Sasha because other than the kicking,
Sasha, he was really good actually. We're getting to it.
Yeah, other than the kicking, like Pollard's not going to offer you a lot extra at this point in time anymore. Like, he's not as physical as he always was. He's not as quick as he always was. So I'm not judging him on it, but obviously like when we saw Faf and Andre struggle, because they struggled throughout the match, right? They needed to get hooked. And I feel like we need to be more ruthless when it comes to these things. What's your opinion on players getting hooked early in a game if you see that they struggle, even if it's big names? Do you agree with that, or do you say, listen, I've done it
Yeah,
before, we'll just stick with them?
I still think the strategy is great because then what if your replacement gets injured? Then what do you do? Like if you like, the World Cup final when he took off Manny after what, half an hour. What are you doing now if somebody Pollard gets injured?
I mean,
Okay.
it's a sad life if you go through life thinking, oh, well, if we take him off, what happens if he gets injured? No, you can't do it like that. You have to play
I'm just thinking
as
from
if they're
coaches'
not going to get injured.
Yeah. Yeah,
Do you
back
get
to
what I mean?
Pollard though. I mean, I get what you mean. What's he going to bring to the team now? He's
Yeah.
he's in 30s now. I think
Just
you have to
because, like,
start Sasha.
yeah, because
Sasha, that kick he did right over to the corner, and he scored from that. Did you score from that?
What, at
When
the
he
end?
like the first drop kick he did, and he launched it to the corner.
No, I think if I'm not mistaken,
You
I
got to
think
try
we
opposite
blundered
the 5.
the line. I think we blundered the line out, didn't we?
Something, but that was really good. You don't see
Yeah.
Pollard doing stuff like that. So I think
Is
start
it,
him next week. Start Grant
sorry?
Williams.
Yeah,
I don't know
definitely,
if Faf and
definitely.
Andre.
Faf had a horror show. Faf, Andre, and Kwacha
Faf de
was
Klerk, man.
like the three standouts for me that really struggled. Obviously, we love them, right? And we always want them in the team. But I just feel when a guy really struggles, you need to make that replacement. The fact that I know we hooked Faf because he usually plays a bit longer, right? We hooked him at like 58 minutes or something. He had to be gone start of the second half. Like that's just how it was. Like everything he did, he was rushed and whatever. And the big thing with Pollard is obviously with our new attacking coach, we ran the ball more than the New Zealand and England game. Like it's a bit reversed because we have got a New Zealand attacking coach now. So obviously we want to get a new style of play and whatever. And I don't really think Andre matches in terms of the pace that we want to play with in the back line.
Yeah, he's not a fast 10.
Yeah. So it's all about strategy, probably. But I mean, obviously, there's no way you go without Andre playing against Ireland, where literally every kick nearly matters and every inch you can get in whatever, it truly matters. You need someone like Andre
But
to
look at that
control the
though.
game. But,
He left like 9 points out there, and you
yeah, I
still
know.
leave him after
But
that.
usually, when you think South Africa, Ireland, every point should matter, and nearly it did. If the tries
Really
weren't
did.
scored there at the end.
We
Like
scored
if
tries, I think if you scored our points, someone added up, it could have been like 30, 36, 39 to Ireland or something. Someone said. It's like we left, I think in
well,
total, if we
you
got
can't
those 2 tries
count
and converted
disallowed
them, we would have
tries
got
for
our
real
kicks.
reasons, but you can count missed kicks.
One of those tries shouldn't have been disallowed, right? Can we talk about this? So I think it was Kelleher in the ruck. He accidentally kicks the ball. And then the ref took that as him hooking the ball, which he couldn't see. His head was like buried inside that ruck. And he hooked the ball by accident. It kicked back a tiny bit. And apparently that warrants try being disallowed.
Yeah.
Like, I get it's part of the rules, but I just
The
don't. It's a
previous
bit
time
harsh.
we played each other at the Aviva, I think it was Dan Sheehan that did the exact same thing where he kicks the ball through the ruck, which you can't do. That was missed, but you guys scored from that, right? But then we were told, listen, mistakes were made, like TMOs and stuff, they make mistakes. Now, I personally think, well, it's still, he's playing with the ball with his feet in the ruck, because that affected you guys getting the ball, because that was our ball,
I
right?
guess.
So it affects the game. So we weren't even set up defensively, but because him hooking the ball, whether it's intentional or not, in the ruck, that gives you the ball with his feet on the with his knees on the ground. So he's playing the ball while he's on the ground. That's how I took it. It affects the game. It gives you the ball and you go and score from it. Now, I understand that you don't like it. I get it completely, right? Because if it was us and you guys, we'd probably talk the same story, but it would be you going for it and me against it, right? But that's just the game of rugby because we accepted it, as I just mentioned, at the Aviva. The exact same thing, but that time it went for you and you won the game by 2 points, right? So, I mean, in the end, like, that's what happens. Another 50-50 call, James Lowe, with whether he was out or not, right? I personally think, obviously, there was no concrete evidence to overrule it, but I did think there's a bigger chance that he's still out than him having released the ball already. If you get what I mean.
That was a dodgy call.
Yeah.
I
See,
think
but there's always this thing with like home ground calls, like I wouldn't say refs cracking and stuff, but
he
you get
crumbled. The
what I
ref
mean.
crumbled, man. The ref crumbled. Luke Pierce, like we talk about him and
Yeah.
Caelan. Why does he get so mad at Caelan? Caelan was trying to ask some questions and he just wouldn't let him talk. It's not like
Yeah.
Caelan was being really in his face and stuff. He'd go up, and as soon as he went up, Luke Pierce would be like, "No, go away. Don't talk to you. Don't ask me
Yeah.
questions."
Yeah, as I said,
I think he
I
crumbled under
understand
pressure.
why some of you are mad at some of the decisions. Like, it makes sense. I'm not saying it's a real stretch, because it was 50-50 calls, right? That's why
Yeah.
they had such a long look at it. But I'm not gonna say that if you scored that, you would have won the game. Like, I still believe South Africa deserved to win the game over the whole period of time. But that's just obviously from my biased perspective, maybe. Anyway, just like quickly going into next weekend, what do you want to see? Just like a very early little preview quickly
I don't know
from
if
Ireland.
I think this was kind of the game that was the big build up, the big rivalry. I think next week both teams should just try new stuff. Like have this big test match. It is a friendly after all. So I want to see maybe Quail and Blade starting the Connacht scrum half, maybe a change in the wings just to see, because we were very reliant on James Lowe at the moment. Maybe try Jimmy O'Brien there. Something. I want to see Osborne there, fullback again. I want to see like
Why
some of
would
the
you
new
say it's a
players in the
friendly?
scrum.
I am aggrieved by that. Why would you say it's a friendly?
What's the reason
There's
it's
no
friendly?
such
What's
thing
not
as
like a competitive game, It's a tour match, and we can't win the tour anymore.
yeah,
So
but you could still
let's just hide it.
draw the tour.
Yeah, I guess. But at the same time, we're
Literally,
very
all that
reliant.
I've been hearing is, "Oh, we've beat New Zealand in New Zealand." You didn't see that as a
Yeah,
friendly, but now that you've lost one, you
well,
can't
they
all
are
of a
friendly.
sudden say,
That
"Listen,
was a
okay, now
friendly.
it's friendlies."
But I mean, at the same time, like, I know it's obviously a test match. It's a tour. But
Yeah,
the season's been so long. The players have been playing constantly. I just think you can't win the tour anymore. And even if you do lose, it's South Africa, Springboks. So try some new stuff. That's what I want to see. But at the
listen
same
to
time,
this
I
little
would
bit of
like to win the game. I'm saying that now.
listen to this little bit of coping talk. I'm hearing, if we lose, oh well, it was South Africa. It was South Africa. It's just, the cockiness has just taken a total tumble.
It was a humbling experience. I can't lie. Like, I have to learn to cry and stuff now. I wouldn't mind that.
You're doing yourself a favor. But
I'm doing
anyway,
myself a favor.
we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah,
We'll get you on for a proper preview for next weekend
next
again.
week.
As always, Leinster, great speaking to you, mate. Hope you have a lovely
Yeah,
little Sunday there. Don't cry too
thank you.
much. Have a good
Don't forget, we've played one competitive game in history. We won that game. Goodbye, everyone.